Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. This nation becomes the world's top gold producer for the first time. Let's explore! Exciting indeed. The top spot was first held by China, or before this, but this nation kind of knocked them off course, and you're looking at the bottom of a gold mine that this nation utilizes. That's right, here's another view of that mine that might give you an idea of where it is. Indeed. Yes, indeed, here is another clue, and then finally, there's your answer. It's not necessarily the mint that is the top producer, although this mint, the Perth Mint, is in this country. Australia is it. That's right. This is from thisismoney.co.uk, as shared with me by Doctor Who. Very fascinating, I think, to see Australia take the lead spot now. The gold rush down under, the article is entitled. Australia leapfrogged China to be the top global producer for the first time. Gold mining is a laborious business. There's not a huge amount of the metal around, which helps explain why an ounce of it is currently worth just under £1,300. Of course, now it's about $1,765. It's also notoriously difficult to extract. Miners have to blast, crush, and sift through thousands of tons of rock for every scrap of this precious metal. In fact, I even have, you may have seen a video where I showed a super pit gold coin from Australia. Having that coin in my hand certainly gives you an appreciation for what it took to produce that very coin. And it's one of the only coins that I have that actually is, you know where the gold is sourced from. The gold in that coin came from that very mine, and it happens to be the theme of the coin is that mine. I think that's fascinating. Here's an actual image of the Super Pit Australian gold coin, and you can see the detail, the trucks and things going down into the Super Pit mine. Fascinating indeed. You can kind of see, sort of loosely based off of a picture like this, but a beautiful gold coin, and the first that I know of that has ever been commemorated on a coin, from where the gold used to produce it came from the very mine that is stamped on the planchet itself of the coin. Fascinating indeed. Enjoy things like this. That's one of my great coins of 2019 in my view. But gold mining can be hugely profitable too, and more of it is now being dug out of the ground down under at the moment than anywhere else on Earth. Pretty amazing. Australia unearthed 157 tons of gold in the first half of 2021, pipping China by 4 tons to become the world's biggest producer of it for the first time. Having played second fiddle to China for the last decade, Australia has become the world's biggest producer of gold for the first time. It unearthed, like I said before, 157 tons in the first half of this year. And this is from a report from analysts at Surbiton Associates. The haul was worth more than £7 billion, based off the current gold price of just under $1,790. Well, now it's less than that now, but I digress. Australia's rise to the number one spot comes on the back of a bumper period for its gold mining industry, which unearthed a record 328 tons 2 years ago. Wow. China's state-run mining behemoths are not renowned for their transparency, that's for sure. And by the way, they are not renowned for being environmentally cautious either. And just so you understand, there's no roadblocks for them for their gold mining. So that makes this feat all the greater of an effort by Australia. It's unclear exactly why production in the world's most populous nation has fallen behind as of late. Analysts at Surbiton have suggested it may have something to do with some mines in China being temporarily shut down to investigate work accidents and deaths. You heard that covered on this channel back earlier in the year, or maybe late last year, about some mining deaths and accidents there. However, I would say that human rights and safety measures, I don't think a couple of deaths, 22 deaths, if I remember correctly, are going to be enough to stop the Chinese government from mining gold. But I could be wrong, but that's one speculation there. Under industry experts think that is unlikely, like me. Whatever the reason, the changing of the guard at the top of the gold medal table reinforces Australia's status as one of the dominant forces in mining. Many of the world's biggest gold extraction sites are based in Western Australia, which is already riding high on a mining boom that has been fueled by record iron ore prices. And look at this chart here. Gold prices hit record high of more than $2,053 an ounce in August of last year. They've fallen back again as a rollout of vaccines fueled optimism and stock markets recover. Of course, now we've run into quite a big of a roadblock in that area, but nonetheless, you can see here by that chart. So the biggest in the state and the second biggest in the country is the Boddington gold mine, 80 miles southeast of Perth, owned by Colorado-based Newmont, the world's largest gold miner. A few places down the pecking order is a Mungari site, which is almost 400 miles east of Perth, on the edge of the Kalgoorlie gold fields, which I believe is where the Super Pig gold mine is. It is one of the 5 across the country run by Evolution Mining, which has risen rapidly through the ranks to become one of Australia's biggest gold mining companies. It is highly profitable with around 600 workers, but a huge amount of work goes into it. Around 2 million tons of rock is blasted out of the ground and transported in trucks to the local mill every year. This equates to around 6,000 tons a day, which typically generates less than 10 kilograms of gold, roughly the weight of a koala bear. Kind of an apropos comparison, right? 6,000 tons of ground that generate less than 10 kilos of gold. The ore is broken up into gravel-sized pieces by large machines, known as crushers, before being ground to a fine powder in separate machines. Water, chemicals, and electric currents are used to separate the gold, which is then smelted and turned into a low-purity gold bar called a doré bar. These are then sent to a refinery to be turned into a 3/9 fine pure gold bar, which can be traded on the market. Many of them are refined to a 4/9 fine level. Evolution's executive chairman, Jake Klein, said Australia is benefiting from the very high gold price. This has created a lot of momentum in the sector and a lot of production. But higher production is not necessarily a good thing, he said. Miners tend to dig up more gold when prices are high, even if that means blasting, transporting, milling more rock. It's been the problem with the gold sector and why we've always been a boom and bust industry, said Klein. It is one of investors' biggest frustrations that miners will often dig up more dirt to produce more gold, but at higher costs. The focus should always be on doing it profitably. Despite these challenges, gold miners have struck it rich during the pandemic. Gold has traditionally been seen by investors as a haven during times of economic turmoil, as well as a hedge against inflation. That's right. And then we talked about the price here, and they have predicted that prices could have further to fall. And I'll be talking a little bit about that in a future video coming up. But despite the ups and downs, it has proved to be a good long-term bet, beating stock markets. That's the key. And so yes, indeed. And so again, it continues to talk about kind of the markets and where gold is typically, and the paper trading market. But nonetheless, it is fascinating to see Australia take the top spot here, indeed, in the mining sector. So let me know what your thoughts are about this article. I want to thank again Dr. Who for sending this along to me. Pretty amazing stuff. Gold. And they are mining more of it, and it's happening in Australia. Still very rare metal, though, that's for sure. And there's a reason why the prices are doing what they're doing, especially when we see economic strife, uncertainty. They will go up. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.